The tall lizard Gits had gone down the winding streets ahead, the Beastgrabbaz following this most unusual and exotic, but certainly worthy prey as they skulked down the back alleys and gutters of the ruins of Underworlds. Little did they know that the Saurus blessed by Itzl were themselves seeking to lay a trap for them. As the Gits turned the corner, they found a swarm of snakes and other venomous creatures swarming all over the passage forward. With a crash of splintering wood, the Saurus warriors burst out from ramshackle barricades to attack, and battle was joined in Warhammer Underworlds, Underworlds. In today's game, we're going to be playing a Warhammer Underworlds Rivals format game. Now, in the Rivals format, players pick a pre-built 32 card deck known as a Rivals deck. A player's Rival deck is made from cards that only feature that deck's unique symbol denoted in the top right-hand corner of each card, which means if you have at least one Rivals deck and one warband from the list below if you're going to a competitive scene, or you can use pretty much anything you want in a less organised setting, you have everything you need to join in with this format. In today's game, I'm going to be playing with the new Borgit and Beastgrabbaz. Warband ability wise, my Inspire condition is pretty simple. I delve and I inspire. I've also got Trophy Hunters where at the start of my first action step in the first battle round, I can pick an enemy fighter with a health characteristic of 3 or more to be the trophy, and I'll get a bonus against that character. Debate also allows me to use my minions to gain some extra movement with my hero if they're ever taken down. I've then got some Giddish Tactics, which are mostly once per game abilities. These can give me a bunch of different abilities based on whether Uglug or Borgit is sort of calling the actions and the shots. These can be getting Grievous on my minions, attacking after Uglug or Borgit does. I can also get some extra movement to surround my Troggoth, or I can get Stab and Goodwhack and inflict some damage if an enemy tries to move nearby. And so the fighters of the warband, Borgit is the leader with 2 defense standard and 3 health. It's also worth 2 glory if he is taken down. He's got a decent 2 damage attack with the ability of Grievous on a crit. Meanwhile, you've got Uglug, which is where the sort of tankiness of the force can come from. 5 health, only 1 shield defense though. Then got 2 dodge on all of your other goblins, which is really nice considering they only have 2 and 3 wounds apiece. Now, when you do inspire with these fighters, you're going to get a few extra dice on Borgit's attacks. Uglug then is going to go up to 2 defense. Meanwhile, you're going to get more dice in the attack rolls of all your other more lesser goblins in the force as well. The Edge of the Ninth Rivals deck that I'm playing today has a special plot that it's going to use where, while using this Rivals deck for fighters with a health characteristic of 2 or less, and or that have 2 or more damage tokens are considered tempered. This will affect a bunch of the cards within the deck and how they do and how we score some of our objectives as well. And as I mentioned, we are playing with the Edge of the Knife deck, so here is the full card listing for that deck for you to have a look at. Stephen today is playing with the Jaws of Itzl warband. The Jaws of Itzl warband revolves around trying to inspire the fighters by inflicting damage on an enemy fighter during your opponent's power step or action step, and you can then pick a friendly fighter and inspire a fighter doing so. You do have predatory fighters where if you roll shields in your defense and your defense is successful, as long as the attack is also not successful, you can get a damage point back at your enemy, allowing you to inspire. You've then got a bunch of other abilities. First of all, Instinctual Control. This allows, after you use any attack, to move your friendly minion, which is the Sotek Venomites. You have Savage Mauling to get some extra damage off as well, and Obstinate as well can be used during your power step. You pick a friendly Saurus, and that fighter can't be driven back, though lots of these are all once per turn, except the Instinctual Control. Speaking of fighters, Krojax is the leader with 5 health and a defense of 1 shield and a 3 damage attack. Meanwhile, both Rotak and Sokar also have those same defensive stats of 1 shield in there with 5 health as well. They meanwhile have a few different attacks, 2 damage and 3 dice on it for Sokar, while Rotak does have a 2 hex range attack as well. This drops to 1 damage, but when it's in close, you will go back to 2 damage. The Sotek Venomites themselves are just a 2 dice 1 damage attack, but do have 2 dodge on them. When the fighters choose to inspire, Krojax gets an extra point of defense and starts rolling more dice in his attacks. Meanwhile, Rotak and Sokar will both get increased attacking ability as well, while Sotek's Venomites will just get an extra dice in its attack pool, but also has the ability to stagger opponents as well. Stephen is playing with the Emberstone Sentinels Rivals deck. This is a full card listing for the deck, and it is generally a deck that wants to try and take and hold objectives on the table. Right, and so we are all deployed on the table for Borgit's Beastgrabbaz. First of all, I have Uglug, Rig and Sham there at the front, Borgit in the centre here. We then have Snags and Dreg on the other side. Meanwhile, for the Jaws of Itzl, you have Rotak over on that flank. You've got Krojax and Sokar down here with your Sotek Venomites at the front there. Today's video is sponsored by Gap Games, a fantastic miniature wargaming store in Queensland, Australia. They stock a wide variety of miniature wargames from all things Games Workshop to some of my personal favourites, Conquest of the Last Argument of Kings, and all things Modifius wargames as well. Use our affiliate code in the link below to help support both this fantastic store and the channel as well. And so we're going to go priority for turn 1. I've got the worst possible thing. Stephen got a hammer, so he's going to have the choice of who's going first.
I'll go first.
And the Saurus are going to take the turn. And so Stephen's first action is moving Rotak there up onto objective number 4. Do you have any cards to play after you choose to do that? Right, I'm going to make a charge with Dreg then next, up next to you. I'm going to target the Sotek Venomites. And so 2 dice. That is 1 success in there. Is that correct? Meanwhile, Stephen is got a
Nothing.
6. Nothing? Any dodges on them?
Yep.
Cool. So that is 1 damage, and you are staggered. And so the Venomites do go down. They've only got 1 health. However, I am then going to score Aggressive Defender, where I score immediately after a friendly fighter's attack action if the attacker is holding a treasure token. And so after that, I've got a few cards to play. The first of these is going to be Death Throes. I can pick a tempered friendly fighter, and because Drake has 2 wounds or less, he's automatically tempered. Attacks targeting that fighter in the next action step have -2 attack dice. I'm then also going to play Final Stand, where in my next action step, tempered friendly fighters cannot be pushed. And lastly, I'm going to play an upgrade called Impervious. So while this friendly fighter is it's tempered, save rolls for the fighter are not affected by Cleave or Ensnare. And then after that, I'm going to choose to Delve as well with my fighter, which will inspire Dreg. And so that'll be my first action all done. You're then going to make another move action, just moving Krojax behind Sokar there. And so, nothing to play from your hand on that one after that. After that, I'll then score behind enemy lines. I score this immediately after opponent's action step if a tempered friendly fighter holds a feature token in enemy territory. Hence why I put all those buffs on him. Alright, my next action, I'm going to do a move now with Snags. We're just going to go 1, 2, 3, and that'll be it for him. You're then going to make a move with Sokar then, moving up. So all your fighters have now made a move this round. And after that, I'll make another move of my own, moving Snags 2 to there. And so that'll be over to your last activation of the first round.
That's Rotak, he's going to attack.
Yep, Rotak, that is your spear dude. Right, so your last thing is going to be an attack then with Rotak. And so crosswords the hammers.
You needed hammers.
So you got 1. I need dodges. That is 2 shields, so 1 damage.
Yep.
After you do that attack then, I'm then going to play an upgrade, which is going to be Fueled by Pain. This is going to go on Snags and increase his attack now to 2 damage with the ability to ensnare on a crit. But what happens here is the number of dice I get is based on the number of damage tokens I have on the fighter. My last activation then will be Snags making an attack back at, what is that? That's Rotak.
Yep, Rotak.
So I'm doing an attack on Rotak. Now, because he was the model I chose as the trophy at the beginning of the round, I do get an extra dice when attacking him. So I go back to 2 dice. Needing hammers. Oh, that would be helpful if I had 2 attack dice. Needing hammers. That is a crit. So,
And a hammer.
and that crit means ensnare. So no dodges allowed. Not that he has them anyway, I don't think.
Nope. Needs a shield.
So he needs 2 successes. Gets 1, but that will still mean 2 damage go through. And so the first objective scored at the end of the round is hold treasure token 3 or 4. Stephen does hold objective token 4 there, so we'll score that. Also, just before as well, Stephen would have scored unassailable. He scores this immediately after an enemy fighter's attack if a friendly fighter was holding a treasure token was the target. On to my scoring at the end of the round, and well, first of all, Snags and Dreg are all in. So I score in the end phase if there are no tempered friendly fighters in friendly territory, and tempered friendly fighters are in neutral enemy territory. Both my tempered ones are in enemy territory. And then I'm also going to score 2-pronged assault. I score this in the end phase if 2 or more friendly fighters that are tempered are in enemy territory. Then we've got some upgrades to play. Sokar is going to take great speed to give the model +1 move. And then Krojax is going to have great fortitude for +1 health. So we got round 2. Stephen is the underdog. So I got a hammer, which means you crit, you win it anyway. Alrighty, so your first action of the round is with Sokar making a charge into Dreg. And so you didn't cross swords with Sokar. You got 1 success.
Yep.
So I need dodges. And I got 1. And so Stephen's going to push me and then follow up because he had more crits in his dice roll there. Right, so after that, Stephen's then going to play Hidden Pass. He can pick a friendly fighter in an edge hex, remove that fighter from the battlefield, then place that fighter in a different empty edge hex. Now normally he would have to give them a move token, but because he's the underdog, he does not have to. Ouch. After you've done that, I'm then going to play Fake Out. I can pick an enemy fighter with a health characteristic of 3 or more that is adjacent to a tempered friendly fighter, and then roll an attack dice. If the roll contains any hammers or cross swords, I inflict damage and then stagger them as well. Alright, we're going to pick Krojax to roll for. That is a crit. Fortunately, no. If I was the underdog, that would have succeeded. Right, Stephen's then going to use Healing Potion. This is going to go on Rotak. Now, first of all, you heal your fighter 1 regardless, but because you're the underdog, if you roll a shield or crit on a save dice, you can heal again. So, no, so you just heal the 1. I'm then going to play an upgrade called Dark Horse. This allows me to make one of my fighters tempered. So I'm going to put this on Uglug. And then I'm going to also play Sidestep. I can pick a friendly fighter and push that fighter 1 hex. And so we will push Uglug a single hex there.
Okay.
Stephen's then electing to Delve, making that an objective again instead of just a plain feature token. I'm then also going to play an upgrade called Parting Shot, and this is going to go on Dreg. Alright, so my first action is going to be a charge with Uglug. So Uglug is going to make its attack now. It's got a 2 hex range and going to attack Krojax. So we need hammers. That'll be 1 success. So you now need to roll a shield or crit on defense, preferably a shield for you. That's crit. Unfortunately, you don't get to do your punch back with that.
Is that
so I don't succeed in my attack. However, you don't get the punch back because it has to have a shield in the punch back. And so your attack there with Rotak nets you 1 success. 2. 2.
A hammer and a
Alright, I need dodges. No, that will not be enough. That will see me take the damage on Snags and go down. Alrighty, so my next action will be a move action, and we're going to make a move with Dreg here. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3. And then after that, I'm then going to play the action card, Synchronized Effort. I can pick 2 friendly synchronized tempered fighters within 4 hexes of each other and literally swap them. And so there we have swapped Uglug, who has the Dark Horse upgrade, so is tempered by the upgrade. And then obviously Dreg has 2 or less wounds, so is always tempered. You're then going to do a charge with Rotak there down into Rig and Sham. So you need cross swords for him.
No, this is hammers.
No, he's the hammers. It's the dude wielding the one-handed weapon that needs sword. So needing hammers. I got 1. I need dodges with Rig and Sham. Neither of those is a success, so
2 damage.
2 damage. Alright, you're then going to elect for the power step to use Savage Mauling. So because I've got 2 damage tokens on the model, you can roll 2 dice. If you get a cross swords or crits, you do a point of damage.
Nope.
No, nothing. And unfortunately, that means you now can no longer use Savage Mauling for the rest of the game. Right, I'm going to make a move action next with Borgit. Borgit is going to choose to move up here, and that'll be that. And then during my action step, I'm going to delve that objective there. This in turn will mean Borgit does Inspire. You're then going to make a charge super action. Who are you attacking? Going to attack Uglug. Alright, so Uglug has 1. You need hammers or?
Yep.
Yep.
Cross swords.
No, so that is no successes there. Right, my next action is going to be a charge with Borgit. He's just going to simply move there. Alright, so 3 dice for my attack. I need hammers. Crit means I do an extra point of damage. That is 3 successes with Grievous there. You're going to stop that, but that won't stop my attack going through.
And therefore I don't get my Treasury 5.
Yeah, so that's going to be 3 points of damage in total. Alright, so you're going to go for another attack with your last action into Uglug with Crowjacks. Needing hammers. See if you can get it this time.
Nope.
Nope, exactly same roll. Unfortunately, nothing for you. And so my last action is going to be with Rig and Sham, who are going to make a move. And so they're going to move up to there. And that will be my last action for the round. And so as we go into the end of round, we have some objective score. First of all, for myself, I have Calm Before the Storm. I score this in the end phase if there are any damaged fighters and those fighters are not adjacent to each other. Because I moved Rig and Sham, damaged fighters are not adjacent to each other. And then I'm also going to score Risky Position, where I score this in the end phase if a tempered friendly fighter is in enemy territory. I actually have 2 of them now. Stephen is then going to score Hold Treasure Token 5. Reason he flipped that back up with Sokar. Today's video is sponsored by the Warhammer merch shop. Want to grab some merch for your favourite Warhammer army? You can use our affiliate link down below to grab your next purchase and help support the channel at the same time. And so we go for the roll-off for round 3, the last round. I got Crossword. Stephen is the underdog, but doesn't get the victory, so I'm going to choose to take it with my Grots. And so we're going to start off by making a charge with Borgit himself into Crowjacks. So we're going to get 3 dice with our attack. Supports and double supports will count, as you are now sort of flanked and surrounded. So that will be 2 successes. You do get a block, but that is not enough. That is going to be 2 points of damage. And so after that, I'm going to choose to use my Gittish tactics. After a friendly Borgit or Uglug makes an attack, I can choose someone I attacked and they become Demuggins. Any of my friendly minions that are targeting Demuggins get Grievous on their attacks on a crit. And I'll also score Double Team. I score this immediately after a friendly fighter's successful attack if the target was flanked by a friendly fighter. Now you count as surrounded, but while you're surrounded, you also count as flanked. I'm then going to play Deadly Aim, and this is going to go on Uglug, giving his attacks in Snare to go along with his Cleave. I'm then also going to play Pesky Nuisance. Now this is going to go on Dreg. This means if you are adjacent to this fighter, you must attack him. And so, going for Stephen's first activation of the round.
1, 2, 3.
Yep, going to make a charge, I'm assuming, into Uglug there. Needing cross swords on your 3 dice. Supports will count, so that is actually 3 successes.
2 successes.
Sorry, 2 successes, the hammer didn't count. And I get nothing. So damage, 2 damage. Steven's then going to play Sidestep, where he can pick a friendly fighter and push that fighter 1 hex. Pushing you onto the objective there. And so, going into my second activation for the round. Before that though, I am going to score Immovable. I score this immediately after an opponent's attack action if a friendly fighter was a target of the attack and they're tempered and were not slain. And Uglug is tempered and wasn't slain. Alright, my second action is going to be a charge now with Dreg. And so, I do get an extra dice because you were my trophy hunter, the trophy, so I'm going to get an extra dice on my attack, and I'm also going to have Grievous on a crit here, so needing cross swords with Dreg after this charge. That will be 3 because the supports will count. You get shield, but it's not enough to stop the 1 damage going through. Right, so your second action is just simply going to be Krodak striking back at Dreg because he has to due to pesky nuisance. 1 success.
Yep.
Dreg has dodge 2. That's a crit, that's a success. And then because of that, I'm going to score Sneak into Position, where I score this immediately after an opponent's action step if 2 or more tempered friendly fighters are adjacent to the same enemy fighter, and both Uglug and Dreg are tempered. But Stephen will also score Aggressive Defender because he is holding a treasure token when he attacked. My third action is then going to be a charge with Rig and Sham. So Rig and Sham are going to get a bonus dice, taking them up to 3 dice. They need cross swords. I still get Grievous on a crit though. That will be 2 successes because the support and double support will count. Once again, you get the shield, but it's not a failed attack. So 1 damage, and you do get staggered by that. You're then making a move there with Rotak. And I'm assuming you're going to delve that.
Yep.
And because you do stagger when you delve, you will now score Stand Firm. You're then going to play the Sharp Reflexes upgrade on Krojax. And so my last action of the round is going to be Uglug attacking Krodax. I do get a bonus dice in there because you are still the trophy. However, I don't get the Grievous because I'm not a minion. That will be 3 successes with the crit. It doesn't matter. You stop my crit being a thing, but your shields don't count anyway, and neither do your dodges. So that will be 2 more damage on Krojax, which takes him out. Alright, so Stephen's last little hoorah. You're going to try a attack into Rig and Sham. So go for it.
2 attacks. I need hammers.
Hammers. Got 1. 2 dodges for me. No. Which means you do take me out and you'll score the point for Rig and Sham at the end there.
So
thank you all for watching. We hope this battle report was enjoyable for you, and if you did enjoy it, please go check out some of our others in the playlist on the channel. If you have any questions, please drop a comment down below, and while you're there, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join our Discord server to check out all of our future wargaming content. Thank you all.